Abigail here with the Tarotscopes for Cancer season, Scorpio sun, moon, and rising. My Scorpios, this season is some pretty interesting astrology and is one of the best kind of seasons of this year. This year has been a little chaotic with all of the personal planet retrogrades. Doesn't mean that Cancer season is like free from conflict and things like that, but there are some really sweet spots, very specifically on the 25th, the new moon in Cancer. I do have a video that is kind of a longer form of the astrology of the season if you want to go look at that. This is your tarot scope. I will be sprinkling in astrology goodies as we go, but I wanted to focus on the cards. So this is a lot of the most progressive, forward moving stuff. I will say we do have a Mercury retrograde starting at the end. So take it with a grain of salt. These things affect people different ways. I feel like for Scorpios and people with heavy Scorpio placements, based on our reading, this is a fabulous season. I will say not all of the tarot scopes are quite as fabulous. So if you have heavy, let's say Libra placements, let's say, because that was kind of a rough one, know that it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. The entirety of your chart contains multitudes. None of this is good versus bad or nice versus not nice. It's all a mixture and, true to life, because that's what astrology is. So starting off with your oracle card, you have Bounty of Happiness. This gift is for you. Really feels like something you've really wanted for a long time is coming, or conversely, something you've kind of wished for and forgotten about is coming. That's based on the tarot. I have pre-pulled for this. But yeah, there's a lot of beautiful things happening. Also, you're kind of supercharged this season because you have the trine between Cancer with Jupiter and this new moon. And then you have the trine with Pisces, which has the North Node, which is about progress and moving ahead and kind of expanding into the unknown. And so we get a gift. And I'm really excited for you. I think my Scorpios have, especially with that Mars rulership, been on a kind of a bumpy road because we kicked off 2025 with a Mars retrograde. So this is where some stuff is going to break really nicely for you. So look forward to that. I do think for some of you it's going to be a little more subtle, but that's based on the first card. But let's get into the tarot. Six of Cups. I do wonder if for some of you this isn't a childhood dream that maybe you've forgotten about or has been kind of pushed back with kind of the pressures of adulthood, etc. And you are going to attain it this month. So if you get to the other side of Cancer season, you go, what gift was it? Go look back in your childhood. What have you attained that you really wanted when you were a kid? It might seem less important as an adult, but I think those childhood dreams are very valuable, if not more valuable, for their kind of magical lineage. A lot of things we want when we were kids are honestly more fulfilling and better than a lot of the stuff we dream of in adulthood, because in adulthood we have the pressures of late stage capitalism, etc. Whereas as a child, we aren't really tainted by that unless we kind of had to wake up early to how the world works. I also do believe for some of you, this is a walk down memory lane to kind of redo things and untangle some stuff, especially in this deck with this card. Sorry, my hair is annoying me. Here, I guess a little better. Especially with this deck and this card, these threads feel very past life thread. Feels like people from your past lives are going to start coming up. Makes me wonder if they're not coming up because of the Mercury retrograde in Leo that starts at the end of this. So just kind of keep an eye on these patterns and cycles and shifts, and maybe the past life and the childhood dream coincide. Maybe this is someone is showing up who you knew a long time ago, and now they're going to take kind of center stage in your life. So keep an eye out for that. It feels really, this reading, this timing feels really powerful and mystical. I also love the fact we also have threads in this one, which I think is really interesting. A red thread here and the golden thread here. So there is a story going on that I think is a lot deeper than just the kind of obvious of what is happening in your life, which is very Scorpio coded. You all tend to have these underlying currents that are a little more twisty and turny than a lot of folks, which makes you very magical and sometimes confusing even to yourself. A lot of the Scorpios I know tend to have like a very strong sense of self, but a lot of time retrospect has a lot of revelations for you, where it doesn't mean that you were wrong in the moment. It just means that your convictions in that moment were so strong that you could not see anything else. And I think as time goes on, you get better and better at sorting through those things, which is really typical of sign stuff. Taurus children are very comfort focused, sometimes to an extreme. And as they get older, comfort's not a bad thing, but as they get older, oftentimes, we learned to step outside of those things. I'm using myself as an example. Then our next card is the Page of Stones. I really love how this is a very youth focused reading at the beginning. This is about newness and beginnings and coming at things from this childlike perspective. The Page of Stones is about these desires and things that you want. And I do wonder if this isn't getting back to something you wanted a long time ago that kind of got pushed to the wayside, but was truly authentic to who you are. Like, what is a dream you can fulfill this month actively that your child self wanted? What have you been putting off for your child self that is really more deserving of your space and time than a lot of the demands you have right now? And also a great time to invest and kind of put some energy into something to get going. I think that new moon on the 25th of June is where you need to really plant some serious seeds to get some serious payback and give back to yourself. Um, it it feels like this Cancer season is very much a bunch of things converging at once and new slash old things kind of coming back to the surface. So old things kind of being reborn in a way that is appropriate for the time that you're in. So definitely do some magic. I'm encouraging everyone to kind of do some good magic on that new moon. Usually I'm kind of here nor there with some lunations where I'm like, do things when you feel the right time is. But the energy of this moon, especially with that square to Saturn and Neptune, is incredibly powerful. So if there's something you really want done, now is the time to plant those seeds. And then we have this really lovely Two of Cups, which is another reason why I think maybe someone's coming up. Maybe there's something kind of showing up and moving forward, kind of taking center stage in your life at this point. Also, if you have been looking for a partner, now is the time to really open yourself up to that happening. And I know a lot of my clients are like, Abigail, I've been open for years. But to be open to what the universe wants to give you. I think lists and requirements for things are good, but I'm not saying drop your standards. But what I'm saying is be open to allowing the universe's standards to have some kind of weight or precedence in this process, because we have our lists and we should cross-check them with the universe's list sometimes. The universe isn't going to tell us to like someone who's ugly or someone we're not attracted to. And when I say ugly, I'm not talking about societally ugly. I'm talking about someone who doesn't have attractive qualities. But to be like, hey, universe, I have this really kind of strict list and stuff, and obviously I don't want less for myself, but I trust you to bring someone in who is just the right timing and person for me. And I trust and believe that you will also respect my personal needs and desires. So open yourself up to that if that is what you're looking for. This is also an opportunity to make friends, to find people who are at the same level and pace of life you're at. This is not the time in your life to try to maintain relationships with people who are just not on the same page. Doesn't mean we abandon them, doesn't mean we throw them to the side, but make sure that you have some friends that are really, truly in step with you and your desires and your dreams and in the things that you care about and the passions that you have. This summer and this Cancer season is going to be volatile on the world stage. So finding those people and connecting to those people and creating community and solidarity is really important. So do that. And when looking for a partner, make sure that those desires align. Because if you do not have the same desires, you will not do well moving forward. It's fine to have kind of like differing levels of intensity for things. I just personally, as a reader and someone who's lived life, do not find having like opposing, conflicting views works out, especially if you are someone who is queer or femme. If your partner is not rooting for you and is actively voting against your rights, probably not the right person for you. And then we have the King of Stones. There's also a lot of really long-lasting, long-term stuff coming to fruition at this point. We have, and this is a very dual season right now. We have this, I think it's a lot to do with that Capricorn full moon coming up, which is going to be fun. It's also going to be trine. The sun will be trine the north node and the moon will be sextile the south node. So a lot of past life stuff. but this feels like kind of a long-term, long-lasting thing coming to fruition, something you've been working on for a while. So these gifts are going to take a multifaceted step. I think you're going to find some really small, beautiful ones and some from your past. And I think you're going to find some new ones that you have been working on for a while. So just open up those hands to receive the things that you want. Um, I'm not saying that closed hands keep the universe from giving us stuff, but if you really want something, why not make it easier? And last but not least, we have the Queen of Cups. There is an emotional depth to this season and value and beauty in what is coming in all of this kind of stone, pentacle energy. We do have the cups. We have the Six of Cups and the Two of Cups. Allow yourself to, in the areas where you need strength and protection, to build that, but also, just like Cancer, to have a soft, tender inside. Open yourself up to a range of experiences and emotions. And also, I think you are all pretty good at this, but like, don't speak your desires out into the world until you are ready to share it. Um, not everyone is meant to know our deepest, darkest things. Like I said, most Scorpios I know are pretty good at keeping those to themselves. But to know who and when and what to share. This is really about trusting your intuition and tapping into that this season. And you have a lot of good magic going for you. Also, you have that nice sextile to Mars, which creates like this little triplet because we've got the Cancer one, and then we've got that. And also, then we got Venus and Taurus. So there's this really nice conversation, pardon me, between all of these planets, not directly by degree, but by sign. So activate that for yourself. There's a lot of action and emotional clarity and intuition to be unlocked here for you all. And, to really to resist what's going on and to be true to yourself and within your power. It requires both this earth-shaking strength and this sweet tenderness. And this also reminds me of the opposition between Scorpio and Taurus. Whatever's in your Taurus house is going to really come in clutch. Venus is currently in that Taurus house. It might be a little spicy, but it also might be that pushback and that check-in that you really need to kind of lock into what you want and into getting your desires met. All right, my loves. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Also, please pop any experience or questions you have in the comment. I love to chit chat. And you can find me pretty much anywhere under this name, website, Instagram, TikTok, the whole shebang. But yeah, have a blessed Cancer season, and I will see you in a different space and time.